Hello, it's Bigbazz again, and I've decided to do a little overview of the Arms Warrior on the Legion Alpha. So I've made a new pre-made Warrior Man, the human. Take a look, he's using the PvP gear, which is blue on the Alliance side, it's orange on the Horde side. Anyway, just gonna have a quick look at the talents. I've been switching between these three. Sweeping Strikes seems to be bugged at the moment. It has been bugged since the start of the alpha, where it doesn't work on the execute does not work on the second target unless the second target is also below 20%, which seems like a bug. It would, from like in the past, we'd always get our executes sweeping over without this requirement. Whether it's a bug or not, I have no idea, but it's been in the alpha since the start. Overpower, this pretty much replaces sudden death in your rotation. If you think of sudden death, which is the instant execute, this is your proc. Your proc's in a very similar fashion, and it does quite decent damage actually. It's better than sudden death for damage. This is your big. It says a big hit on a single target, at least compared to like Mortal Strike does more damage, but this one's got increased chance to crit, but I'll talk more about that later because that's not always the case. And then there's Dauntless, which reduces the cost of abilities by 20%, which is quite nice as well. I think on AoE fights where you'll be using Cleave and Whirlwind more, it's going to be a must-have. For Cleave fights, 2-target fights, I'm not quite sure. I think Sweeping Strikes will be the one to go for. But that depends if they fix the execute mechanic with it. We have to see. I haven't looked at the numbers in detail. There's no simulation going on here. I should preface my video with that. This is not based on mathematics. This is not based on simulation. The numbers are not tuned. I'm just giving my opinion, which could be completely wrong. So take that with a grain of salt. And then there's, anyway, double time. This double time. It also reduces the cooldown, which is nice. This is a favourite for me. I love double time. Stormbolt, it's pretty much the same as it is now. It doesn't really do much damage, but it's a stun. And then Shockwave, which is again the same. Avatar, this is for me. This is probably baseline. I guess Rend will, depending on how it's balanced at the end, then with high-end gear, Rend will have a place for sure. But I've been using Avatar because it's got good burst synergy, and combining now with Blade Storm, even though it 1 minute on Blade Storm and the timings don't necessarily line up every time, but I can deal with that. Die by the Sword is going to be probably the go-to for some fights, for most fights I would imagine, because of this. See this? This 6-second cooldown, you're stuck in defensive stance. So if you want to just use a defensive stance just to absorb incoming damage and then switch back, you can't really do that. You're stuck for 6 seconds, which is really going to hurt you in PvE. So it's going to be between second wind, which on some fights will be great, because if you can stop yourself taking damage for 5 seconds, you're going to heal yourself straight back up. This is actually quite decent in PvE. I found it decent even solo in this instance. On Horidon, I used second wind, and while he was swinging his head around, I wasn't taking any damage, so I just healed straight back up to full. Die by the Sword is going to be the go-to on most fights, I would imagine, though, because it's Die by the Sword, just on-demand 30% damage reduction, so works just as we remember it. Anyway, Blade Storm. This is awesome. Back in the start of Warlords of Draenor, Blade Storm was the go-to talent, even on single target. If you had bad gear, even on single target, the Blade Storm was really strong. And in fact, if you weren't going to get your bloodbath burst perfect with the execute, Blade Storm would most of the time work out more damage on single target. Of course, as you got gear, the difference between Blade Storm and bloodbath became much bigger. And as well, especially with Mastery, when they buffed Mastery, with Mastery working in the way it did, which was to increase the damage of Execute and Mortal Strike and Colossus Smash, it pretty much priced Blade Storm out of the situation on single target. And eventually, by the time we got to Hellfire Citadel, even on AoE, it was pointless taking. I mean, it's good for rankings, but you'd always get much higher rankings as Fury by doing the same thing. So yeah, but this time around, your Colossal Smash is now just a flat damage increase to everything, which is much better. So now your Blade Storm is going to be doing good damage all the way through with gear. How well it scales with gear, I have no idea, the ability itself, but at the moment it's really good for burst because you can go in with your Colossal Smash, then your Mortal Strike, I'll explain that later again, and then you're going to be doing Blade Storm. And yeah, on single target it's really good. Mortal Combo, I don't see the point of this, to be honest. It gives you 2 charges of Mortal Strike. Now at the start of the expansion, of the alpha, this was great. It was worth taking because, well, it was pretty much guaranteed because you do Colossal Smash and then you'd Mortal Strike and you'd Mortal Strike, and you could use Mortal Strike to increase the duration of Colossal Smash. So you're always in this gameplay loop of Colossal Smash, Mortal Strike, blah 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 blah. But then they added in Tactician. They added to Tactician the Slam, Whirlwind, and Execute have a 15% chance to reset the remaining cooldown on Colossal Smash and Mortal Strike. So not just Colossal Smash, Mortal Strike as well. So that's pretty much how it works at the moment. Your whole gameplay is based on resetting this Colossal Smash cooldown, which is 45 seconds, not 20 like in the old days. It's 45. Now there is a benefit that they've added, a buff. It's now 8 seconds to the duration is now 8 seconds instead of 6 seconds, which is nice. But the RNG of this mechanic is incredible. It's you can be there with 100% uptime, and then you could sit there for 30 seconds spamming Slam and not get a reset. There's some protection, which is in the form of your artifact ability, Warbreaker, which is a 1 minute cooldown, so you're going to use this wisely. But this is mainly going to be used for AoE, because it's an AoE Colossal Smash effect. So you'll press Warbreaker, and then your cooldowns like Battle Rage, Avatar, and Blade Storm, and you're just going to do so much damage. It's going to be insane on burst AoE. I'd say Arms Warrior is possibly going to be the king of burst AoE. But then again, I need to compare it with Fury. So I've been playing Fury, but to a lesser extent. I haven't raided with it, and I haven't seen any logs or looked into any logs with it, so I'm not sure. The number tuning is not done yet, so this is all subject to change. This could be nerfed into the ground. I have no idea. In for the kill on single target with Execute. This is going to be awesome. I mean, I have no idea how it's going to work with the legendary, I think the gloves, I'm not sure, I haven't looked, maybe a ring. There's a legendary that causes Mortal Strike to generate rage, which will change everything. Because instead of costing 20 rage, which is 20 rage is a lot, it's going to generate, I think it's 20 rage. But this, in for the kill. On Execute phases, this is going to be incredible, because you're going to have as much fucking rage as you want, pretty much. You're going to be generating rage like a fucking steam engine train. How it'll work out compared to Blade Storm with the burst, I have no idea. It'll depend on the fight. And the balancing and the gear at the time. But I think at the moment, the two talents you're going to be using are Blade Storm and In for the Kill. Mortal Combo, I can't see much of a use for it. That could change. We don't know. Balancing is yet to come. But yeah, Blade Storm, I've taken a liking to Blade Storm. But I've just been soloing stuff mostly. I've done a little bit of raid testing, but and I've leveled up on the leveling realm to 110. But there's so much lag on the leveling realm that it's really hard to get, and mobs die quite quickly. It's really hard to get anything done. So that's why I'm in Throne of Thunder 25 man soloing stuff. So the next tier of talents, Trauma. This one seems like a kind of a default for now. Increases the damage you do with Slam basically by 20%. As you can see, just additional bleed damage of 20%, which adds up, so it stacks. But yeah, it just increases the damage of Slam. It's great, but it's not so great. I mean, we already have enough incentive to spam Slam, I think that's pretty much the biggest problem with the spec at the moment, is you could be sitting there all day just spamming slam for 30 seconds straight trying to get Colossal Smash off cooldown. Anyway, Titanic Might. This is going to be used on cleave fights. Sustained cleave fights, because you're never going to keep this cooldown on more than one target for any duration of time. But if the duration is 200% longer, in other words 24 seconds, you can well, it's going to be easy to keep it up. Especially you've got two targets, you'll be using Whirlwind, which resets 15% per target for 25 rage, or 20 rage if you take Dauntless. You're going to be reset. You're going to have enough time to keep two Colossal Smashes probably on both targets. So you're going to have a consistent increase in DPS on both targets. And if you're going for consistency, you might end up with two Rends as well, because it's going to be Rend plus the damage that it gains from Colossal Smash, 21%. So, well, that's with this gear. As your mastery increases, obviously that increases the damage of Colossal Smash. The damage bonus gained by Colossal Smash. So yeah, where were we? Titanic Might. On single target, useless. On adds, useless, because your whole damage is based on burst. And I'll give you an example now. Now we're going into the bread and butter, the artifact. This is your shattered defenses. This is one of your large traits, of which you have 4. You get the first one for free, which is your War Breaker. Anyway, after using Colossal Smash, your next Mortal Strike or Execute gains 30% increased critical strike chance and 30% additional damage. There's a lot of gameplay elements that are going to go into this, such as refreshing Colossal Smash early to make the most of the rage that you've got when you're executing. So maybe you've used your Colossal Smash, you've done an execute, and you've still got some duration on it, but you've already reset the cooldown on Colossal Smash. There are going to be situations where the best thing to do is to just use Colossal Smash again and then execute again for the bigger damage. And it's going to take the good players to figure this out. When is the best time to do it? And you'll have to figure this out on a fight per fight basis, especially in a PvE, when you get to pretty much learn fights as a dance. So pretty much if there's repetition, you can learn how to deal with each phase. There's going to be mastery on every fight just around this talent, and mastering how to use the effect to the best use. So this is why I said earlier that Overpower does more damage than Mortal Strike most of the time, because even though the damage is actually lower, as you can see, the damage is lower, you've got a 60% chance to crit. So it's always going to crit. It's pretty much always going to crit, or very high chance of critting. Whereas with Mortal Strike, not so much. But after your Colossal Smash, it's got a 30% extra chance to crit. So for me now, I've got it's like 46% chance to crit with this shit gear, and 30% more damage. So after a Colossal Smash, the best is going to be always press Mortal Strike or press Execute. After that, then you'd probably press your Overpower, and then you're going to be one to press Slam. Now I haven't checked the numbers how this works yet, but there's a good chance that pressing Slam all day long is going to be the best course of action, because your aim with this spec is to reset the cooldown of Colossal Smash constantly. That's your whole philosophy of the spec, is to keep Colossal Smash off cooldown, keep pressing, keep using it, keep Colossal Smash up, because it makes a big difference on the damage, a massive difference. So, are you willing to sacrifice 15% chance to get your Colossal Smash back up for using an Overpower? Yes, you are sometimes. This is going to be dependent on the target you're fighting. I mean, if the target's going to die on the next couple of seconds, and you want to try and get as much damage onto it as possible, or if you need to meet a specific enrage timer, so say there's a cast going off, and this mob needs to die before the end of that cast, then that Overpower, that is going to be the ideal thing. But if it's a sustained situation where you're trying to sustain the damage over a long period, then it might be the case that just using Slam is the right course of action, just to try and get Colossal Smash back down. So which talent will be best will again be subject to the fight, the situation, the tuning of the abilities, the scaling of the gear at the time, and pretty much once we actually start doing the math for the spec, and the people start putting out the simulations for the simcraft, etc., this is going to be all figured out. But for now, I'm torn on the situation. I've been playing with Overpower and it's quite fun. It's like playing with Sudden Death, and I like Sudden Death. I've always run Sudden Death as arms, unless on most single target fights, and even sometimes on cleave, especially back in the old days before I was in my current guild. So the last one's Ravager. I haven't really tried Ravager on the Legion Alpha yet. Ravager's Ravager. Looks like it does decent damage. It'll scale better with Colossus Smash, perhaps. No, well, not so much it'll scale better with Colossus Smash. It'll scale better with Mastery, is what I meant to say. I keep on confusing Colossus Smash in Wars of Draenor with Mastery, but it's the same thing now. Mastery increases the damage bonus of your Colossus Smash. In Wars of Draenor, Mastery increases the damage bonus of Mortal Strike, Execute, and Colossus Smash. Let's get that right. Opportunity Strikes. I like using this while leveling up. It does a decent amount of damage. I haven't looked too much into it. That'll be subject to tuning. It's a pretty boring ability. Yeah. It does more damage the lower health they go. Oh, no, sorry. Yeah, it's got more of a chance to proc based on the health. And then anger management. This is going to be the interesting one. Every 10 raids you spend reduces the remaining cooldown of Battle Cry by 1 second. And Battle Cry is basically recklessness. It's better than recklessness because it's 100%. It doesn't last very long, 5 seconds, but it's 100%, so that's cool. Now the reason this is awesome is because we've still got Bloodbath in the game, except now it's called Corrupted Blood of Zakaj. For 5 seconds after activating Battle Cry, Stormcar radiates shadowy energy, causing all your attacks to deal an additional 20% damage as shadow over 6 seconds. So it's like the Bloodbath bleed. So pretty much, the synergy of this is to spend rage to get your anger management to reduce the cooldown on Battle Cry, so that you can get your 100% crit on your big 20% damage bleed, which if you're going to be combining it with where's Avatar, and say Blade Storm and Colossus Smash and all your big abilities, or during an execute phase, it's going to be doing a lot of damage. It's going to be insane. It's going to be awesome. Maybe. This is subject to tuning as usual. But yeah, combined with this, I mean, there's a lot of potential here. The potential is awesome in terms of how much damage you're going to be able to put out, but that is always subject to tuning, because the other classes have got awesome stuff too, so we'll have to just see how that works out. Colossus Smash reduces the bridge cost of your next Mortal Strike or Execute by 15%. This is useful as well. I haven't really looked into this one. Stuff has changed since I looked deeply into the artifacts. Everything has changed, even the shape of these artifact talents. So what I'm trying to say is that things change, and things could change again. So all of this is subject to change, especially the tuning of the abilities. And finally, anyway, the last one is the Void Cleave, which causes cleave to explode when you're doing more than 3 enemies, which it is quite impressive. It is quite a lot of damage. I looked at it and thought, that looks shit. And then I used it on a big AoE pack earlier, and they just all melted. They all just blew up. So it was awesome. I thought that's cool. Now with Whirlwind, we need to look at the difference. Currently, the way they've balanced it is the Whirlwind does more damage than Slam on a single target. So that's not including trauma. The Whirlwind does more damage on a single target than Slam, not including trauma. It also costs more rage. 8 more rage with Dauntless, 10 more rage without Dauntless. But each hit of Whirlwind is got a 15% chance of Colossus Smash. So as soon as you get the 2 targets, Whirlwind is going to be the main Colossus Smash resetter. So you're not going to be wanting to run Trauma on 2 targets probably anyway. Focused Rage, I haven't really looked at this one. Which is why I haven't talked about it. This is a replacement for Heroic Strike for Prot. You basically spend Rage and it stacks up a buff. It's very similar to the Taste for Blood mechanic at the start of Mr. Pandaria for Arms Warriors, which got nerfed into the ground so hard because of how hard it made Heroic Strike hit at the start of that expansion in PvP. And it was all based on RNG. This is not based on RNG, of course. This is controllable. But I don't really like this talent, to be honest. I hope it's not good. But I mean, I don't know. I don't like the idea of pressing an ability that doesn't have any audio or visual impact, that just does more damage. It's like pressing a boring buff. And you press it enough times and then you hit harder. In PvP, this is going to be really useful, I can imagine, because burst is what you were looking to do, and this spec is built around targeted bursts. The targeted burst through Colossus Smash. So there's a good chance that mastery of the spec, once you get to the proper end of play, and you've been playing for a few weeks and you've really gone to town. You've really learned to play the spec like the back of your hand, because you start the expansion and you're never very good. I'm not very good at playing this game right now. I know how to play the game, but I'm not playing at a high level. So if I was to play Focused Rage now, I'd be fumbling around. But if you give me 2 weeks of playing this spec, I'm going to learn the intricacies of play and find out where everything fits together, and everything will become natural. And you're going to master this ability, and it's going to increase the burst on your burst potential massively. Whether it'll balance out as being better than Trauma, I have no idea. There's a good chance of it, but considering the way the game is tuned now, Trauma is probably the way forward, because you're just spamming slam everywhere. You're just spamming slam all day. But when tuning comes in and we've got the proper gear and things have been balanced, I hope at least that there's a better choice than Trauma. But then I say I don't want to use Focused Rage, and then we can't use Titanic Might because it's shit, so then we're stuck with Trauma. But I don't want to use Trauma because we're already spamming slam too much, so I'm not sure. The spec as a whole, for me, as an opinion, I think it's okay. I like the original version more, because the original version was about extending Colossus Smash just as much as it was about resetting it. So once you reset it, and then you get Colossus Smash on, and then you get the ball rolling, so to speak, and you are chasing the Colossus Smash timer. So it became a ongoing gameplay, like a slot machine. You just keep on playing, and that was the hook for me. The reset combined with the extension, and that in the execute phase was incredible, because you could just keep on Colossus Smash forever, which was probably too strong. And a lot of the people said to Blizzard, maybe the extension mechanics are a little bit too strong, because I've had my Colossus Smash going for a minute and a half. And Blizzard's response to that was to delete it from the game. They said, well, no more extension. So what they did was increase the chance to proc, the chance to reset the ability. I think it was from 10% up to 15%. I think the base is 15% now. It might have been 10% before. I can't remember the exact numbers. But we've also got exploit weakness, which is another 6% on top of the basic the basic chance. But this is only for slam, so that's on single target. As soon as you're on 2 targets, it's still going to be probably worth using Whirlwind. Don't quote me on that though. Like I said, I haven't looked at the numbers. There's no simulation around this. Cleave is going to be good on AoE. Whether it's going to be good on Cleave is what I worry about, because if you use a Cleave and then you use a Whirlwind, you've used 2 global cooldowns for 1 chance to reset Colossus Smash, rather than just using 2 Whirlwinds. I know it increases the damage. It increases the damage of Whirlwind for each target by 20%. so it does make Whirlwind hit a lot harder. But you got to remember that the key of this game is Colossal Smash, which when you get a lot of mastery is going to be ridiculously powerful. It's already powerful, 43% chance, 43% extra damage. So that's the gameplay around it. On large packs, Cleave is going to be obviously it's going to be amazing, because you're going to have 5 times 100% more damage on your Whirlwind, and of course this, which is Void Cleave, awesome. So now, earlier on I was saying that Arms didn't have any healing. I was lying to myself and to everyone else. Arms has got 9% of your Mortal Strike damage heals you. Doesn't sound like much because it's not, but after a Colossal Smash, your Mortal Strike does a decent amount of damage. It's definitely healing you for a decent amount. It kept me alive on the turtle boss after I'd killed myself the first time, because I wasn't pressing Mortal Strike. The Mortal Strike hasn't got a priority. There shouldn't be. There's no priority of Mortal Strike unless you've done your Colossal Smash. The rest of the time you're spending trying to reset Colossal Smash. If you're not doing the big burst, which would on a single target you do Mortal Strike, your Colossal Smash, sorry, with a full cooldowns up, Mortal Strike, and then with these talents, Blade Storm straight away as soon as I've done my Mortal Strike, and then I'd go straight to slamming to reset it. Now I could use Warbreaker. I haven't looked into if Warbreaker works with this after using Colossal Smash, your next Mortal Strike or Execute. I think it doesn't. I don't think the synergy with Warbreaker and Shattered Defenses works. I could be wrong. I haven't looked into it. I don't think it works, but I could be wrong. And then there's this Unbreakable Steel, which increases all damage. This is your big end of the expansion sort of long-term plan. 383,000 artifact power. Increases all damage by 0.5%. That number could change, so could the cost. 383,000 is absolutely insane. I think the cost of a single artifact talent for my character on the leveling realm is 525. Now I haven't unlocked the whole bar, but I've got quite a few of these abilities. Like I've got Shattered Defense, I've got all these. I think I'm might be down to Precise Strikes. I haven't got Corrupted Blood, and I haven't got Void Cleave, but I've got a few. And we're talking 500 points, 500 artifact power per point. So we're going to be into the 2000s, probably 2000s, maybe 3000s by the time I'm on the full artifact tree. That's a rough estimate. This is 383,000, so this is something you're not going to get for a long, long time. I hope they don't make it too powerful, because it's going to encourage some insane amount of grinding, which I don't like insane amounts of grinding, personally. Some people might, I don't know. But for Radiant, 0.5% increased damage, it doesn't sound like much because it's not, but if it's there, you're going to go for it. Any other thoughts? What are we doing? Tactician, yeah, I've looked at that. This is your mastery, as I was saying earlier. So as your mastery goes up, so does that. And that's it. So I'm going to just stop talking a bit. I'm going to kill these remaining trash mobs. I'm going to kill the boss. Well, I hope. That 8 seconds makes it pretty nice. I prefer 8 seconds to the 6 seconds we got on live. Apparently I'm stuck in defensive stance. That's a bug. try and fix this. Where are we? Second wind. I'm in combat. Oh, this little dude over here. Okay. Let's go back into battle stance. That's a bug. Strange one. Let's leave second wind on. What other talents we got? Dauntless. Focused rage. I'll go with trauma. Let's try opportunity strikes, see how that works out.
Thousands of years without new playthings.
Should we go for overpower, maybe?
I will enjoy.
I think so. I'm gonna go for overpower for fun. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull the boss, charge him obviously, Colossus Smash, then my cooldown's up. Battle Cry is obviously gonna set off Bloodbath 2.0, and then I'm gonna Mortal Strike. The Mortal Strike, because of shattered defenses, is gonna do 30% more damage. It's gonna have a 30% additional chance to crit. It's gonna crit anyway because I got Battle Rage up. But yeah, and after that I'm gonna press Blade Storm. After I've finished my Blade Storm, I'm going to press Warbreaker, and then I'm probably going to Mortal Strike to see if it works, and then I'm going to start spamming Slam like crazy, and that's pretty much going to be the fight. The rest of the fight I'm just going to be trying to keep Colossus Smash on cooldown, off cooldown, on the boss, and try not to die. I may die. I've never tried this fight before on 25 man, and yeah, let's just fucking do it. Let's fucking do it. Let's do it. You ugly motherfucker. What's your name? Doom with the Forgotten. You ugly motherfucker. No, I'm not going to charge him. Apparently it doesn't work. Maybe it'll work out here. Yeah.
The power of the void.
Warbreaker. I think it might work. It might work. Shadow defenses may be working with Warbringer. I'm still gonna Mortal Strike for healing. Typically, I'm only really gonna be using my Mortal Strike after Boss of Smash. So I guess Boss Smash, Mortal Strike is the overpower because this was damage. Oh, we got Boss of Smash, Mortal Strike, overpower, Slam, Slam. Mortal Strike, overpower, Slam. I'm gonna slam all day now. Colossus Smash, Mortal Strike, overpower, Slam. Blade Storm, I can't see a fucking thing. Fucking so dead. Okay. That's what happens when you try for the arms. You die. I'm gonna try again. Because I don't like dying like a noob. Strike. See, that's not going to be any use to me. I'm going to damage me to check whether that was worth using. The second wind's definitely not going to do anything for me. So I'm going to use Die by the Sword. Double time shockwave, no, it's not do anything. Dauntless might be useful in the last 20%. I know there's buggy with execute though. Anger management. Let's got a potential to work out, but Battle Rage having a synergy with Blade Storm is fuck it, let's just do it. Let's try it again. If I die again, I'm still gonna put it up on the YouTube. Maybe I'll kill the boss's Fury or something. Okay, let's do it.
The power of the void.
So we got a orb in there. And looks like. And then chart, slam, slam, smash, kick, slam, slam, slam. I gotta try and make sure I strike as much as often, just to heal. It'd be good if I knew the mechanics of this fight, because I don't. You can use the Power Rage, just come off cooldown really quickly. But I can't really use my yeah, I need to kill this boss faster. It's not working. Okay. This is not gonna go anywhere.
Looks like you couldn't keep up.
Seems like I couldn't keep up. I swallowed my way all the way through this instance. Successfully. And I've died on the boss that I decided to make a video. It's quite possible that I just don't know the mechanics. Okay, that worked out worse. Fuck it. I'm gonna show you Fury. Cost money to change spec. Just not the first time. If I changed again, I can go back to arms, always free, every time, because it's my primary spec. It'll cost money to go back to Fury after that. Okay, so it's automatically changed my... I won't need much for this, I guarantee you. Fury's self-healing is awesome. Famous last words. There we go. Don't really need fear, but fuck it. Check him on the boss. Okay, was Raging Blow is here. Rampage is here. Whirlwind. Okay. Oh, I need leap. Fury. Fresh meat. No. Probably take that. Double time. Avatar. Charge also increases it. Like, I mean, I could use leap. No, it takes. You have to charge from 20 miles away, so it's pointless on this fight. Frothing Berserker, Blade Storm, Massacre. It's cute. I mean, that's great. Blade Storm is probably still worth it for the burst. Maybe, probably. Okay. And Dragon Roll, which is a bit like Colossus Smash. This could go really wrong, because... Oh, wait. There's one more I'm missing. Oddity Fury. Okay. Not fuck. I'm put Avatar on my boss. Where are we? Macros. Okay. Let's do it. If I don't do this time, it's game over.
The power of the void.
Anyway, arrows. I got 2 global cooldowns from being enraged. The rampage causes enrage. This is my choice in the next crunch, and either Fury or Arms. Fury's self-healing is incredible. I ordered Fury until I've got. Oh yes.
Welcome. The void's embrace.
So yeah, Fury's got great self-healing, as you can see. It's amazing. I didn't do a very good job because I'm really not very good with Fury yet. I keep on leaving the frenzy drop off. But the great thing with that Massacre is once you've got your execute off, you're pretty much constantly doing execute, rampage. So it's got a really good flow to it. If you haven't got Massacre, not so great. It's kind of like, it feels like it should be just a built-in mechanic, and they should have something that's more like a bonus there, because that makes it so much better. Obviously Bladestorm is Bladestorm, it's massive burst. Even on single target it's really great, but I don't really know what you're going to do without Massacre with Fury, because the execute phase is still really important, and that makes it work, because you execute and you get rampage. So your rampage is automatically giving you enrage. So you it's just like it feeds into itself. Anyway, I'm talking rubbish now. I shouldn't talk about Fury because I haven't looked into it too much. I spent a video doing Throne of Thunder the other day. That's pretty much all I've done with Fury in the alpha. Is solo some 4 bosses in Throne of Thunder. I thought I could kill this boss as Arms. I soloed the rest as Arms. It wasn't too much of an issue. The turtle boss was a little bit annoying, but that was quite because I wasn't paying enough attention. And yeah, I think with some decent gear, this boss will drop like a sack of shit. Once you've got a good gear in the alpha, soloing this as Arms will be fine. Soloing as Fury is just fucking easy. I'm sure I could probably do the rest of the instance as Fury. I think it's a Dark Animus with the ads, the robot ads. That'll probably be tricky. Otherwise, the rest will go down pretty easy, I imagine, as Fury. As Arms, and I'm not so much sure. Anyway, thanks for watching my video. It's been a long one, but I wanted to explain some of my thoughts and views and observations on Arms. Let's go back to Arms. See, it's free to go back to your main spec, but I'll show you now. it was free for me to go to Fury the first time, but now it costs 19 gold. Now for every time I change, it costs more gold. But yeah, arms. Main issues for me is the Colossus Smash reset is so important that you literally just slam and spam all day, all night. Otherwise, I miss the mechanics that extended the Colossus Smash. But yeah, the problem with arms is sitting there all day slam and spam. To be honest, you're just sitting there. The potential is amazing with the spec. They've done a great job. It is better than Walls of Draenor. While Walls of Draenor is more predictable, even though Walls of Draenor is ridiculous RNG, this is probably as bad or worse in RNG because of this. Because of just sitting there spamming slam. You could be having a great time with it proccing every 5 seconds, or you could sit there for 30 seconds, and I have had this happen, and many people have had it happen. You just sit there spamming slam, and you're not doing any damage, and you've got these cooldowns, and you don't want to spend them because you're like, I need to wait for Colossus Smash before I use my Battle Rage and Battle Cry, and it's so important because of this corrupted blood, 20% of your damage over 6 seconds, bloodbath effect, that you don't really want to waste it without. Well, you can't. It feels dirty to try and press this button without having Colossus Smash up for me. So yeah, the spec is a bit too much RNG. Otherwise, and too much spam of slam on the single target at least. But otherwise, I don't really mind it. It's better than Walls of Draenor for me. It's a spec that I think I could play. I have no idea how it plays in PvP because I can't get into any BGs. I did 2 or 3 skirmishes in the 3v3 arena and got owned completely by some demon hunter that soloed most of our team. I've tried some Fury arenas, which Fury is amazing in PvP. I'm not surprised it's got nerfed because you can just play terrible and you just heal through everything that everyone does to you and they will just die eventually. I think the only class that's probably stronger than Fury in duels at least is the Death Knight. Maybe like Prot Paladins or something. But yeah, I haven't tested it since they've nerfed the healing, so that I could be wrong. But yeah, Fury's really great. Arms in PvP are not so much. Maybe it's great with a healer. The damage potential is there. The damage potential is there all day. But yeah, I suppose we'll see. We'll see when everything comes around. Anyway, thanks for watching my video. It'll all probably change, but yeah, subscribe, and maybe I'll put some more videos out. If not, yeah, tell me I suck or whatever. Bye.